welcome into another edition of RedHawk Rewind. I'm Tim Carey.
And I'm Dave Meyer. Tim, what episode number is this? I can't think.
This is 23. We're in our Jordan year or something like that.
Ooh, 23. So, reason I ask is I think last week's episode might be our most impactful. I don't know. I probably got 3 or 4 messages from media asking if they can clip interviews, take some of the sound bites from David and replay them.
Were they wanting to know what he was saying about things, or they just wanted to hear my questions?
No, they were asking about you.
Okay, I was assuming, but nobody has reached out to me, so I appreciate you shielding me from all that. It's kind of like the SID's job, really, right? Like to just handle the questions and the queries so that people can focus. I've been well into prepping for this next episode, for these next set of questions, this next trivia game.
If I've trained you well, right, you're
haven't.
trying to put yourself at the front of the camera. Right, and not in the background.
Can we zoom in just a little bit, Willie? Just kind of, no.
So, enough about that. Who are we talking to today?
We have Owen Hoban here from the Miami men's swim and dive team. Conference championships coming up. I can't believe this is the last week of February. So lots of teams getting ready to go and chase titles. They have 5 conference titles in a row and counting between 2 different leagues, right? Mid-American Conference, now the Missouri Valley. So let's bring him in. And welcome back into RedHawk Rewind. Our special guest this week, sophomore swimmer from Stafford, Virginia, Owen Hoban. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, and I know Tim just introduced just a swimmer. Can you just kind of talk to us a little bit, what are your events? What are your favorite events? Just walk us through that a little bit.
Well, I got recruited for 2 4IM and then the 2 butterfly. Favorite event, 2 butterfly. I love it. It's a strategic race. You have to be fast, but also you have to know what your body can handle. So it's a rush. It's a really big rush. When you get out of the pool, you're all tired and whatnot, but then you look up and you're like, oh, that's a better time. And I definitely think that the 2 fly in comparison to the 2 IM, right? Very similar in the distance, but the effort you have to exert is just next level in 2 fly. 2 IM, you go into it knowing it's like, oh, I'm going to be in pain later, right? I know I'm going to be in pain later, but it's full body in comparison to just one part, especially for fly. It's the legs. You get up and you can't walk. Last time last conference, got out of the pool and I was like, yeah, and then I was collapsed because my legs were just dead. So
if you could name the 200 butterfly, if you were in charge of that, butterfly is just a very interesting name for a swimming stroke. What would you call it? I
don't know. I feel like butterfly is a very accurate name. I mean, it's so symmetrical when you think about the stroke. I'm going to get philosophical. When you think about the stroke, it's so symmetrical. I mean, your arms are coming over at the same time, and then your legs are staying in this consistent motion that it's just, you're literally flying. You're taking strokes, or think about it like a bird even. You're flapping your wing to get further out. I feel like butterfly just fits it perfectly.
So either butterfly or the RedHawk could be
that's a good
runner-up name.
That's a good one.
All I know is the butterfly, the pictures look incredible when you guys are out of the water like that. It really does look like you're flying. But Why don't you start us off? You're on the block before the gun goes off, and just your whole process of what you're thinking about before you get on the block, and then when that goes off of how you're trying to get in the water.
So there's 2 different ways that most people do it. There's one where, you're just relaxed, you're not worried about anything. You're not thinking because, you're just focused on this. You're focused on what's in front of you, the pool, the water, everything that you've been training for. You're ready to get in the pool. I get on the block and I just take a deep breath. I go, fill the lungs, and then I exhale, and I'm just focused. I'm dialed in on that black line. I'm ready. Some of my teammates will get really into it, and my training partner, Alan Cotton, he will sit on the block and he will focus. He will dial in. He will not move. No movement. And then as soon as the whistle gets called, he gets up on the block and he's just ready. When I hit the water, the first thing I'm thinking about is making sure my breath control is on point. I take that deep breath, make sure my lungs are full, and as soon as I hit the water, it's like, okay, exhale consistently, because carbon dioxide in your body, takes away some energy. So I'm like, let all that air get out, and then when I take my first breath, I can take that full oxygenated, get the blood flowing again.
So we're going to talk about Missouri Valley Conference Championships coming up next week, but you are on quite a winning streak as a program, 5 conference titles in a row. You're a sophomore, so what was it like coming in as a freshman? Obviously, new league, but knowing kind of what the expectations were and the success that you and your team had 12 months ago to be named freshman of the year and all that.
I thought it was really fascinating. When you think about it, and it goes for all sports. Every year you're going to have a new roster. You're always getting new people. So for 4 years in a row before me to be able to, say like this team has gotten a conference championship consistently, no matter who they bring in, no matter what. I think, for my opinion, it's not necessarily just about the abilities, but more about as the team whole. Are they a family? How do they work together? How do they push each other? Coming into it, that's how I looked at it, because I was like, you can do what you want in the water, right? The water will speak for itself. You will speak for yourself when you're in the pool. But it's how do you deal with it before and after those certain wins or those victories that you celebrate as a team? Are you cocky about it? Are you calm? Do you know you can do better with it? Do you push yourself harder afterwards? To be honest, it's exhilarating, coming into something that's already known victory. How do you keep pushing forward? The way I've always swam is I don't really much care about the placement. Placement's the icing on the cake. It's how do I better myself in the pool to not just make myself better, but my teammates as well. How do I lift people? How do I bring the competitiveness to a humble level?
What is that like, kind of navigating it being an individual sport and a team sport both, I guess, if that makes sense?
When you're racing, there's 2 different types. There's the relays and then there's the individuals. No matter what, hopefully no matter what, your team is always going to be behind you to support you. And that is the biggest part of the team aspect, is like you want to build bonds to make sure that no matter what happens, people will always have your back, even if you have a bad day. It happens quite often. There's a thing in swimming where it's like you have 2 good days of practice and then you have 1 terrible day of practice because your body just has to get back into the flow. And then the other part is the relays. The relay is it's so much fun because most of the time you're training with 1 stroke. Or if you're an IRM, you're training with the same people still consistently. But then you get into a relay where it's like the medley relay. You have all 4 strokes, and sometimes I'm a butterflyer. I don't really see the backstrokers very much, So it's fun to see evolution, see how people's strokes have changed, see how their technique has gotten better, how their speed has increased, It's very commendable, I would say. It's very awesome to see not just individually how you do, but as a team you grow, even if it is a very individual sport.
So I don't know if you have team captains in swimming, but everything that's coming out of your mouth, it sounds like you're big into this team culture. And am I reading too much into it?
No, I mean, we do have captains. We've got 2 men and 3 women. And that's the first meeting we had this year was, this team for the new people coming in, the freshmen or the transfers, regardless who. We had this conversation. It's like, guys, we're a team. We swim together. We fight. We win. We lose together. Everything at the end of the day, you are representing each other. And that's what's pushed every single year. I mean, that's what was pushed the first meeting last year. And as soon as it was said, I was in. Because the people that were here last year, we had a coaching change. Coach Sam is now here. She's amazing. She cares about us as swimmers and as students, as individuals. But before that, we had another coach. And the transition was hard because they didn't know what to expect. Nobody knew what to expect. It happened a month before we got on campus. So to know that aspect of team, family, nothing changed from coach to coach, that's what drew me in even more. And I just bought in. I'm in it.
What's the game plan like going into these conference championships? Like, there are events that you specialize in. I know there's a limit on how many that you can do, and a little bit of kind of keep your cards close to the vest as far as who's going to do what. But what is the process like of inside of your group of battling for deciding who's going to do what your coach is telling you, and then kind of when you actually get to the meet day one of everybody else kind of finding out what you're going to be swimming or competing in?
So we have something called depth, and it's all teams can have it. It's not it's universal. It's individual. It's basically where multiple swimmers can swim the same event, right? You can have that in mostly. You'll have it in like the 2IM, the freestyle, stuff like that. When it comes to the meet, our coaches can put you into multiple events, but they have to do what's called scratching. They scratch you out because you only can swim 3. So preparing for the meet, you are training your normal events. No matter what, you're training your normal events. But then during the season, if something happens where you're like, oh, I just want a best time, or I want a competitive time for conference, sometimes coaches will put you in different events as, I'm going to say, troll. They're just like, you throw the other teams off guard, right? You can be a 2 flyer and you can get put in the 500 freestyle. If you train 2 fly, then you go swim the 500 freestyle, put down a good time that can compete. Okay, that's one of your events that could be considered a troll time, and they can throw off the other teams. And then when you get to conference and it's like, oh, I got to be worried. These other teams are like, oh, I got to be worried about this 500 freestyle now. I got this person that just dropped some time, whether they shaved or tapered or whatnot. And if they didn't, it's even scarier sometimes. Being able to know some of the people on the other teams really helps too.
Okay.
Because I have a buddy that's on Ball State. He's one of my best friends. I've known him since we were like 10. I grew up swimming with him. He texted me the other day and he's like, hey, what are you swimming? And I was like, yeah, you'll find out. You'll know. You'll know. So it doesn't have a big effect, but it's very easy to.
I feel like we should incorporate that into our office routine. Like one day, Will's just going to show up and write a story, and I'm going to like produce the podcast, and we'll multi-specialize, and then you're just going to have to. We'll troll you.
I want to sit over there.
Okay, if I can get somebody new to sit there, I'm all about it.
That's 2 of us.
April Fool's Day coming soon.
Hey, Owen, you talked a lot about winning and how important that is to you. Was that a big reason that you came to Miami?
No, not at all.
Okay,
not at all.
Why Miami?
Have you looked at the place? It's gorgeous.
Okay, fair enough.
It's beautiful.
We're done.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
This is next year's university commercial right here.
Yeah. No, so this was my only official visit. My old team, we would go to different campuses as like training trips. We go and train for a week and then we come back home. So I got to see a bunch of different places, right? But Stafford, Virginia, it's like brick. It's old. We've got a lot of history. So I'm drawn to that naturally. I grew up with it. And just looking at a school that's been around longer than Florida's been a state, first off, that is just fascinating to me. And just the evolution of our school. I came into recruiting with 3 different things: the people, the team, and the school itself. I didn't know if I was going to go to college because I'm not a big school guy, but I knew if I wanted to further my athletic career, I wanted to get into a program that would help me. So this being the one school that reached out, I was like, let's go take a peek at it. Let's go look at it. As soon as I stepped on campus, I had already known that I was going to go there. I already knew I was going to be here. I knew I was going to be a RedHawk. I was excited. Knew it. But I cleared my palate. I came in with an open mind. Walked campus, I said, wow, this is gorgeous. I could see myself walking this campus every day for the whole 180, 190 days of classes, right? I came into the team. Yet again, like I said, the team had this life about them. These people care about what they're doing. It's not just I can swim fast, but I'm going to pick and choose when I swim fast. No, they cared about swimming their best when they could. Even if they were tired, they came in, they put their effort out. And then the people around campus, the social aspect is like nothing I've ever seen. The people around here are so polite. They're nice. People stop for you, surprisingly, even though it's a campus. Like people crosswalk and somebody's like, ee. No, none of it. I haven't heard a beep on a crosswalk since being here. So,
how did you get started swimming? Like, what drew you to the sport?
So, funny enough, I've told this story so many times.
Never on RedHawk.
No.
This is a whole different.
Yeah, my dad, he grew up in Pennsylvania. So he's a farmer. His parents farmed and stuff like that. Moved to Virginia, met my mom, and all this happened. And he was like, let's throw him in the water. He literally just threw me in. But I hated water. I hated it. I was like a cat almost. I hated the water. Hated it. And then I started playing soccer. That's actually where I started my athletic career, was soccer. I was a goalie, and I would say I was a left-wing defense. My mom loved it. She was a soccer player in high school and college. She loved it. But I hit the age of 6, and I looked at my mom and dad, and I both told them, I was like, hey, I think I want to try out for the summer swim team. And my mom lost her mind. She was like, are you my kid? And she, are you okay? You feel a little warm. So I was like, no, I just want to try it. All my friends were doing it, it's the neighborhood. So that's kind of where it took off. I started swimming, and then I met one of my very close family friends, and he introduced me to the sport, and he just did it so well. I loved it. I came back every summer until I was 11, and then his little sister convinced me, come try out for a year-round team. I was like, okay. So I went and trained with a year-round team, and the guys said, yeah, you can definitely be in this group. We would welcome you in. So I started. At the age of 12, I joined a year-round team. The only time we really had off was most Sundays in August, and then just kept growing.
You can probably tell by looking at me, I am not an athlete. I've never really been an athlete, but I've always wondered this. You were the Missouri Valley Conference Freshman of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find, when I assume they announced it at the swim, when they announced that, I mean, there's got to be a flood of emotions that come through you when they announce that all this hard work is finally paid off. Can you just walk us through that moment a little bit?
So, like I said, the winning stuff is always the icing on the cake. It's always the icing on the cake. But the way I was raised was to know one thing, and that there's always you can do better. No matter what, you can do better. So hearing my name called, that was a flood of emotion, absolutely. I mean, it's like, wow, I just got here. I put so much effort into it, and I'm being recognized for the effort. And it's very nice. It's awesome. Go up, you receive the award. The guy, oh my gosh, the guy giving me the award was hilarious. He goes, man, if I looked like that with my shirt off, I'd have it off all the time. Quotes. That was quoted.
No one's ever told me that.
Was that on a microphone? Yeah.
But it was a nice experience, and to be able to turn around and have my mom and dad up in the stands, that was the biggest part for me. Having the support, they're 650 miles away.
Yeah.
Being able to come to conference, excuse me, and just see them, it's just being able to turn around and go, hey, I love you guys. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being here and getting me to this point, because nobody talks about how the parents, 6 a.m. wake-ups, or 3:30 a.m. wake-ups. Nobody talks about how the parents help, and I very, very much so contribute most of my stuff to my parents, because it's just, I wouldn't be here without them. So winning is just dedicated to my family. I mean, the support that I get from them is endless, and I couldn't thank them enough for it.
I saw you quoted in a story in the Miami Student this week, and it had nothing to do with swimming or the pool. The swim team has gotten a little bit of notoriety for showing up at Millett Hall for basketball games. So, unless you've been under a rock, you've probably seen this on ESPN or something else. But how did it start? Who's been swimming above everybody else? Just kind of take us through the student section from your perspective in these last couple of weeks of craziness.
Well, the swimmers going to different athletic things has been around for a while. I mean, we can't say that we made the trend, because we didn't. But popularized it? That could be a good word. One of our upperclassmen this year decided, he was like, hey guys, we should go to this team. We should go to this game, and we should wear Speedos. And people agreed. I unfortunately wasn't able to go to the first one. It's all right. But I made my way to the second one. The second one was a lot of fun. I mean, everybody just showing up, and we had not split second. We had plenty of time, actually, to decide, when are we going to do it? We're going to do it on the first foul of the other team. Are we going to do it? Or are we going to do the 12-minute, because it started getting really late into the halftime, or the second half. It's like, all right, when are we going to do it? So team fouled, and everyone consecutive. It was hilarious. Everyone was like, shh. Everybody was in Speedos, and then we all just started chanting and trying to distract people, and it was a fun experience. And then to be broadcasted and have my cousins, my uncle, my old swim coach texting me a day later. It's like, dude, you are all over my Instagram or my Facebook feed. It was fun. And then with my swim coach, I have one of my buddies here I swam with back home. He just texts me. He goes, "Man, it's funny seeing you guys together on national television in Speedos. That's hilarious."
So who's that you're lifting up and they're doing the? Who's that?
That is Eli Rolfson. He's a freshman this year.
So how did he get picked for that role? He just
got
jumped up there and
picked.
started doing
I mean,
it?
to my knowledge, he just got picked up there. That's all I know.
I mean, it's been hilarious because now, like, men's basketball wins a game last night on the road, big game,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the first thing they're asking Travis about is, like, are you ready for a Speedo? I mean, like, it's just kind of taken on a life of its own. Look what you started.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And personally, I'll have a Speedo waiting for him. There will be a Speedo waiting for him.
Do we have one picked out?
I'm thinking of one of the team suits. It's got a rep. He's got to rep the M on it. Yeah.
Tim said he wanted one as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
He'll be there on that Selection Sunday.
Your
too.
nose is growing. Did I read somewhere that you are an Eagle Scout?
I am an Eagle Scout, actually. I have
Look at him like get excited about it.
Yeah, I am an Eagle Scout. I actually have my Eagle card with me.
Okay.
Always carry it.
I don't know a ton about it, so like,
Same.
give us the rundown on how and why and what that experience has been like.
Oh man, everyone's like, oh, it's such a waste of time. You're just going out and camping a bunch. It's like, no, it's not what Scouts is all about. You're learning more than just physical skills. You're learning mental skills. You're learning stuff like, how do I deal with a situation when I'm under stress? How do I lead people when I'm stressed out? My troop, 121, Quantico Base, shout out. It's a very boy-led troop. So the adults would, hey, these are your leaders. That's it. As soon as you get into the troop, these are your leaders. These are who you talk to. If they don't have the question, they will come ask the adults. So us little group of guys would always run our stuff. So the senior leaders would, for instance, for the first couple minutes of the first meeting that you go to as the troop, you have to learn knots. It's basic, But the teachers are the upper scouts. It's never the adults because the adults know how. The point is to teach people how to lead. And that just goes unseen. All you think about when you see Boy Scouts is, oh, I'm going to go play with fire, or I'm going to go and kayak or canoe or something like that. So it's an experience that I would highly recommend for parents to put their kids into because it's just something that you don't get enough of in a school. You don't get to interlock with nature and understand, what facilitates like growth as a human outside of education.
The knots would have helped me. I mean, like we've talked about, my shoelaces never staying in. Like that would be one thing that I could have solved, right?
And you don't understand. I don't know, 30 times a day his shoes are untied. I don't understand how it happens.
It's like my signature, yeah.
You're not double knot?
Don't get him started.
Normal
geez.
bunny tie.
How long do we have?
Double knot?
Can we give him like a bow tie? Can we give him some sort of knot that he can not struggle with?
Square knot.
Well, we're supposed to be talking about Owen and not me. Like,
No. I like this one. We'll give you a square knot. Square knot's a very simple one. Right over left, left over right, and it never comes undone.
Yeah, I'm taking notes. I didn't bring,
After we hang up, after the podcast is over.
we hang up,
I don't know why. It's been a long day.
let's talk about Star Wars.
Ooh.
All right.
Let's go.
I mean,
Things that I know less
okay.
about than the tying knots or Star Wars.
You
but,
want to just leave?
like the look on your face at Star Wars was about what the look on his face was when we brought up Eagle Scouts. So like, I mean,
I
just
don't even know where to go. But okay, let's just start here. What's the best Star Wars movie of all time?
Oh man, this one's gonna be controversial.
Oh, if you don't know.
I am a very big A New Hope guy. I really like the original trilogy. So.
what was yours?
I
You
mean,
seemed like you were ready to pick a fight.
It's Empire.
Okay.
It's not really close, but as long as you didn't say like 7 or 8 or 9, then we're good.
No, hey, they're retcons, so they don't even exist in my mind. Just saying.
I can't steer the Star Wars conversation. So if there's anything you want to bring up or talk about, like this is your moment. I mean, like I can come back in like 10 minutes.
When Owen and I were walking down, I told him, you've always got some game. I'm banking on Star Wars trivia, so I don't want to steal your thunder. Are we Star Wars thunder?
I always have a plan A and a plan B, so
Oh, I don't think I do that. So
okay, maybe that's a little bit of a stretch. So you're done talking about Star Wars and you want to play a game?
assuming we're getting to Star Wars,
It's not a Star Wars game.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
How could I pick like
strongest Jedi of all time?
Do you want TV canon or do you want book canon?
Whatever you want to give me.
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I think it's.
He is statistically, based on the books,
I just love the unironic use of the word canon right there. Like, I mean, that was awesome.
If you know, you know.
Yeah,
right?
it's
So. He walked in the office earlier. He saw my Darth Vader little.
I was saying we should like add him to
We
the
should've.
cradle for
Yeah, that'd be
this.
pretty
We should have, but
Okay. So every week we have a game. I'm sorry it's not Star Wars. But
I'm like really bummed.
it's kind of the whole like zig when they think you're gonna zag, because
yeah.
like he tries to predict every week, and I don't want him to know.
Yeah, but I'm not going to study for Star Wars trivia. I already know it all.
Okay, well, Miami Swimming and Diving owns 13 all-time men's conference championships. We've said the last 5 in a row. Do you know the first year that Miami ever won a men's swim dive conference championship? It was 1955. So today we're gonna do 1955 trivia.
oh boy.
You're at a disadvantage because you weren't born in 1955.
I was close.
So we're going to make Dave go first on each question, and we're just going to do true or false.
Okay.
I did not even bring something to write with, so we'll just kind of keep score in our heads, I guess. True or false, and then he can decide if he wants to match you or not.
I got a pen in my back.
1955.
19. Okay.
So some of them are a little tricky. I'll give you a couple samples. Kellogg's introduced Special K breakfast cereal in the United States in 1955. That would be true. Allstate began using the slogan, "You're in good hands with Allstate" in 1955. That would be false. It actually started in 1950. So, like, there's some that are around but not exact.
Okay.
Ready?
Sure.
Disneyland opened in 1955. True or false?
False.
That's false.
True.
Oh.
Opening day was broadcast on ABC. Several television personalities, including a correspondent named Ronald Reagan.
Which one was first, Disneyland or Disney World? I don't even know.
Disneyland, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
Yeah.
about.
Minimum wage in the United States in 1955 was 50 cents an hour. True or false?
True.
I'm trying to do the math.
What are you trying to calculate?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So I'm a really big nerd. So like Five Nights at Freddy's is a big thing. So there's a lot of calculations with math and stuff
That's fine.
that I'm thinking about from those videos. I want to say it's false.
It is false. It was 75 cents and then was about to go to $1 back in 1955 into 1956.
All right. Owen's up 1-0.
Finger. Cincinnati's MLB team was known as the Cincinnati Reds in 1955. True or false?
True.
I think that one's false too.
That is false. The Reds franchise, it had been the Reds. They changed it to the Red Legs for a few years in the 1950s so that it would not be associated with communism. True story. You didn't know that, did you?
I did not know that.
Things you learn. The first McDonald's franchise location was opened in 1955. True or false?
I mean, if I say true every time, one of them's right. So true again.
You said 1955.
Yeah.
I don't know this one.
I mean, he knew all the other ones.
Yeah, I think he does.
I'll agree with him. I'll say true on
It was true. Hamburgers cost 15 cents. French fries were 10 cents. Cheeseburgers, though, 19 cents. So now you know how much a piece of cheese is worth.
Okay.
The Tonight Show premiered in 1955. True or false?
I don't know if that's true or false, but did you know I broke my leg on the last episode of Johnny Carson on the Tonight Show?
You were there, or you were just watching it?
No, I was in the hospital waiting for my leg to get casted, watching the last episode.
That's different than you broke your leg on the show.
Oh,
Like,
is that what did I say on the show during the same day as
okay,
the show? Yeah,
I mean, I get why that's memorable, but
He's a
so
part
you
of
know
the
when it
audience.
ended. Do you know when it
Jumping
started?
around.
Nope.
1955, Tonight Show premiered. True or false?
False.
I think that one's false too.
You are both correct. It was 1954. Bill Gates was born in 1955. True or false?
True. It's got to be close.
I think that one's false.
That one's true. That's the first point that you've
Yeah.
gotten outside of. Yeah, born in
I think I'm
55.
down 2-1.
The NBA champions in 1955 were the Syracuse Nationals.
Oh, that's
True or false?
Yeah,
I don't know enough about that one, so I'll go with him if he knows. True.
He doesn't know, but it was true. They
I had no idea.
they defeated the Fort Wayne Pistons.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
I
finals.
remember that.
Kermit the Frog was first introduced in 1955. True or false?
False.
I think that one's true.
That is true. You have good instincts
Yeah.
for this.
All right. I'm gonna lose.
Yeah, I think we'll just call it there.
I
Here we go.
appreciate that.
Last one.
Okay.
The most popular boy's baby name in 1955 was David. True or false?
I mean, did it last for that? I don't know. False.
I think that one's false too.
False. It was Michael, but David was number 2, according to what I found.
It's a good
So,
name. It's a good name.
we like to end with something a little bit more serious than trivia. So I'll give you a second to think about this. What advice would you give a kid or somebody that wants to be where you are someday?
It's heavy.
That is a loaded question. Well, the first thing I would say is never strive to be where someone specifically is.
Okay.
Strive to be better. That's always leaves the carrot in front of your face, come get this. Always push to be better than someone. Don't push to be the same. And then the biggest genuine piece of advice would just to be work hard and don't worry what others are saying about you. Try to be the best human that you can be and trust. Trust your sport, trust yourself. You'll make the right decision based on what you're doing.
Awesome. Owen, thanks for joining us. You're more than welcome on May 22nd. It's a staff retreat. We're going to go see the new Mandalorian movie. You can join us if you would like. So
I think I'm going to be out of the office that day.
Thanks again for coming.
Thank you for having me.
MVC Championships coming up in Evansville Wednesday to Saturday. We'll be back next week with another new edition of RedHawk.